Leafs won! The Leafs won. The Leafs won. This is a good thing? This is a good thing. Why'd you say it like a question? Why'd you say it like a question? You're being weird. You're being weird! Let's go! It starts with an A and ends with anxiety. Off the charts levels of passion! That's just a nightmare! With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. How do I even, Oh, here, wait, I gotta... And then I think I stand up. And then no. It's, yeah! 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 Victory puppies! Yeah! $50 goes to the Humane Society of Durham Region. You know what? $100 just for today. $100 to the Humane Society of Durham Region for victory puppies. Leafs win 3-2 in the shootout over the Vancouver Canucks. They did it. World beaters. They said that the Leafs couldn't beat a team dead last in the NHL that only has 6 wins at home all season, and it's February now. But look at you. Look at how silly you look for doubting that the Leafs could beat the Vancouver Canucks in Vancouver, a place where all but 6 teams have... Oh my God. We're going to talk about this ridiculous little hockey game. But first, what was the score of that game? What was the score of that game throughout that game? What if you had a big honking scoreboard in your house to tell you? Oh, let's talk about Fanzone scoreboards. They are officially branded to all 32 NFL and NHL teams. Designed for fan caves, basement bars, game rooms, garages. And each board features official team branding. Streams real-time scores straight to the display through an easy-to-use app. It can display scores live for any NHL or NFL game. And there's a manual scoring option so you can keep track of your own matches at home. Imagine your bros chirping you when you're playing mini sticks and you can actually point at the scoreboard. Be the envy of all sports fans with a one-of-a-kind display. Perfect gift for the sports enthusiast in your life. Score now with Fanzone. www.fanzonescoreboards.com. Now, let's talk about the game. Can I just tell you what's gonna happen? Like, it's gonna happen. The Leafs lost 6 straight. They went 2-1-1. On a 4-game road trip out west. One of those wins was against Colorado. And then there were 2 pretty bad losses in there. And then they beat Winnipeg at the end. So you get the 2 in the front of it. And even though it wasn't a very good game against Winnipeg, you came back and you won and you're feeling good about it. And you like your place in the standings. Then the Leafs lose 6 straight. And everyone's like, sell! You know what's going to happen? They're going to win this game. They won this game. We know that's going to happen. So there's 2 points. They got a back-to-back coming up. It's against Calgary. And the second half is against Edmonton. That's hard. That's hard. Beating Calgary, you might do. Leafs have had a bad season. Calgary's also bad. Second half against Edmonton. In Edmonton. Oh, that's going to be tough. Leafs are going to win both of those games. Both of them. Heading into the Olympic break. And the Leafs are going to decide, you know what? We don't got to sell. I'm here to tell you. If you lose those games or win those games by 14 combined goals, sell! You barely beat the Canucks, for heaven's sake! They aired that game on national television? Dude, watching this game between the Leafs and Canucks and then transitioning to the Olympics, watching Olympic hockey is going to be like the difference between the sugar you get from like a Kinder Surprise versus being stabbed with an EpiPen. One of these is like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have eaten this before bedtime. And the other is, right? Did that comparison make sense? I thought so. Let's talk about the game. This is the first real game where I've accepted that they're not making the playoffs and that they're selling. And I'm reminded of something that I did 10 years ago but had forgotten about. I've never been great at tanking because I know losing is what's best for my team. I do. But do I cheer for it? Like, do I actively cheer for it? I can't. I want them to win. Listen, it's like a lot of things in life. Your brain and heart don't always want the same thing. My brain wants the first overall pick and we deal with the consequences later. My heart wants the Leafs to win 30 out of the next 27 games and make the playoffs and then the cup. My brain knows which one of those is much more likely. My heart knows which one would be better if it actually happened. The heart thinks the brain is cruel and boring. The brain thinks the heart is dumb and naive. Perhaps they're both right. Maybe I'm all those things at once. Maybe so are the Leafs. Can I just say how great it was bonding with Canucks fans, mostly Michael Bublé, during this game about how bad both teams were. There were no goals in the first period. There were pretty much no almost goals in the first period. It was not the best of times and the blurst of times. It was exclusively the blurst of times. That game was aired on national television. Neither team could make a pass. Oh my goodness, they couldn't make a pass. The last time the Leafs played the Canucks could not make a pass. In this one, if you watch the stream, it was me screaming at the Leafs, who, oh my goodness, every east-west and west-east pass they tried in the offensive zone got picked off. Shoot it! But thankfully, purely for entertainment purposes, if nothing else, the Canucks get one less than 2 minutes into the second. William Nylander back in the lineup for this one. That's exciting. You know what I was excited for? Marshall Rafai. Not kidding. For at least 2 years now, Marshall Rafai has been somewhat of an urban legend, like Bigfoot. He shows up, he plays in the preseason, he looks kind of good, and you're like, this might be a guy. And then he either gets called up and doesn't play, or he gets injured and doesn't play. Well, he makes his season debut in this one. Let's see how he does. Oh no! Tries to rim it around the boards. It does not get out. In part because he had no support along the boards, and that's their fault, but also check. Hey, you want to see something bad? That's a pretty wide open shot! I know Joseph Woll's going through a tough streak here, and you could say that you'd like a save there. That's a rocket from Lekaramaki. A beautiful top-ched laser beam, and the Canucks are up 1-0. Every Canucks fan I know texted me with a swear word, not followed by the word yeah. They were upset. Don't worry, Canucks fans, the Leafs would tie it. What? This was actually a crazy effort from a player who has been all over the ice the past couple games, Nick Robertson. Skates into the zone, pretty much on his own, does a little spin move, does a couple spin moves, finds some time and space, sets up Nick Waugh for the one-timer, and he buries it? Nikita Tolopilo, the third-string goaltender for the Vancouver Canucks, was on a 90-plus minute shutout streak when this went in. It's Waugh's 5th of the season, but what a setup from Nick Robertson. Awesome stuff from Robo. It's tied 1-1. But, of course, barely over a minute later, the Canucks regained the lead. Actually, you know what's funny? Before the Canucks regained the lead, they almost went up 2-0 because Connor Garland interfered with Joseph Woll bad enough that it actually got called back. Generally speaking, you're not supposed to, carry a goalie out of the net. And I'm talking trash with Canucks fans. They're like, no way, that's goalie interference for sure. This is coming back. And every Leaf fan is like, nope, you can't. Why would you review that? That's a goal. And the Leafs are going to be shorthanded, and the Canucks are going to go up 3-0. Heck yeah. Well, unfortunately for tanking Leafs fans, the Canucks didn't get the 2-0 goal. And the Leafs would tie it. But then Tom Willander would give the Canucks the Leafs back. Can I show you the Leafs in a nutshell? 5:24 to go in the second period. Morgan Riley's like, I'm going for it. Quick question. Mo, who's covering for you, bud? 5:23 to go in the second period. We discover the answer is nobody! Canucks break up the play. Of course they did. He attacked 1-on-3, and it goes the other way. It's a 2-on-1, but it turns into a 2-on-2. Hey, problem solved, right? Oh, it's a 3-on-3 now. And here's Mo not getting back on time for Willander. Mo, buddy. Or maybe he's just getting back to the tank? Which, when you think about it, are really his NHL roots. Hard to tell. Leafs now down 2-1, heading into the third, against a team with 6. I really can't emphasize enough that the Canucks have 6 wins at home. It's February. Now, people started pointing out that Morgan Riley left the game with an upper body injury, and then the third period happened. This is not a kind observation, but after the game, Greg Berube said they weren't going to be denied tonight, said the third period was perhaps the Leafs' best period of the season. And look at the expected goals. They mangled the Canucks, except for one shift. And a lot of fans were like, observing. You can't help observing. Early on in the third period, the Leafs, again, the East, the West passes, getting picked off. Oh my goodness, oh my gracious, they are mopping the Canucks in offensive zone time. They are mopping the Canucks in shot attempts. They are also mopping the Canucks in offensive zone turnovers. Please stop passing the puck. Please stop passing the puck. Someone be greedy and put it in the net. Look at me quoting John Cooper. Well, off a scrambled draw, Matthews can't come up with it. McMahon can't come up with it. Domi does. What does Domi do? Well, what Domi always does, of course, he shot it! Tolopilo gets a piece of it with the shoulder. It pops up in the air, lands behind him, in the net. Listen, defensively, we know Max Domi giveth and Max Domi taketh away, but lost in this huge losing streak that the Leafs have had, Domi's been great. At very minimum, he's producing. He has points in 7 out of his last 8 games, points in 5 straight games, and in his last 8 games, he's got 10 points. Going back even further, in the 20 games since, well, Mark Savard got fired, and the Leafs went on a little heater there and then obviously flunked a little bit. In the 20 games since December 23rd, if you just want to look at a date on the schedule, Max Domi has 18 points. This is, like, kind of not really arguably one of his best, if not his best, stretches as a Leaf. Production-wise. Do you want me to look at the plus-minus? I'll look at the plus-minus. -3. Well, he's producing, and he produced here, and he tied it. Clock winds down, and the game goes to overtime, a thing that no fan of either fan base wanted, I'm pretty sure. Although it's tough. Like, I saw Canucks fans like, you know what? I want them to tank, but also, you know what? Screw the Leafs. I want my team to win, and I want them to lose, which I respect it. Joseph Woll makes a pair of completely unbelievable saves William Nylander's bacon. Matthews gets hauled down, and in a game with 0 power plays, gets a penalty shot in overtime, does not score. So this one is heading to a shootout. And it wasn't a very exciting shootout. Tolopilo was so good during regulation, but, you know, the shootout's a skills competition. It's not the same. Brusque, nope. Nylander, forehand, backhand. Talk. Pedersen, nope. Actually, a nifty blocker save there from Woll. It might have hit the butt of his stick. Matthews, forehand, backhand, tuck. Over. So I gotta know, how do you feel in the comments? Do you want, like, what do you want? Of course you want the Leafs to win every game for the rest of the season and make the playoffs. Of course you do. You know that's not going to happen. I saw a graphic today of the 6 hottest teams in the NHL. 5 of them are the 5 Atlantic teams above the Leafs. And, like, if that stays the same, like, you're 8 points out of the playoffs now. Whoa. If that stays the same, it is literally impossible. It doesn't matter how bad the Metro Division is. Every Metro Division team could lose every game for the rest of the season. You will still miss the playoffs if you don't find a way to be significantly better than one of the 5 Atlantic teams ahead of you. Oh, and actually, that doesn't include the Florida Panthers and Ottawa Senators, who aren't in playoff spots, but are also Atlantic teams who are ahead of you. Questions. Brad, I think getting at something that I noticed too, he said thoughts, and he showed the Leafs belt picture. So there's actually quite a lot to this belt picture. Joseph Woll got the team belt for winning this game, and he's in a photo with Anthony Stolarz, who was the backup goalie tonight, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who was one of the defensemen in this game tonight, and Simone Benoit, who was a healthy scratch and is wearing his street clothes in this photo. Part of me saw it and I went, is this Simone Benoit getting into a picture because it's his last game as a Leaf? Like, trade rumors have been swirling. He got scratched for Marshall Rafai, man. Like, it's not looking good for Benny. His days are probably numbered. Even if they were to go on a miracle run to the playoffs, like, Benny's days are probably numbered. So we tried to figure out, like, wait, who had the belt last? Because the last time the Leafs won a game was January 17th. The answer is Dennis Hildeby, and he couldn't hand out the belt because he's not with the team, because he's with another team, the Toronto Marlies. Probably nothing. Every now and then they pull in someone who's not dressed for these photos. Could be something. Who knows? When do wins start to be the worst of the 2 outcomes? If the Leafs don't tank hard enough, aren't they so screwed? The answer to your question is now. Now. Like, I don't know, man. Elliot Friedman talked about how, like, the Leafs, wow, that's not coming down, is it? Elliot Friedman talked about how, like, the Leafs are starting to sell. They cannot be swayed by this little 3-game stretch with the Canucks, the Flames, and the Oilers. There is one team worth beating out of those 3. The Canucks are awful. Horror awful. They are brutal. The Flames are not much better. They are better, but not much better. They're not going to make the playoffs. Then there's the Oilers, who are good and elite and a contender and also weird. And I could easily see you losing 10-1 or clapping them 7-3. I kind of feel like it's going to be one or the other, honestly. I think good business is good business. You sell off pieces you know you aren't keeping, Benny being one of them. What's the goal? What's the goal? What is the likely scenario? What is the responsible thing to do? And then you might say to yourself, well, the sportsman thing to do is try to win every game. I would argue you are trying to win by trading players and recouping assets. You're just not trying to win right now. You're trying to win later, which is what nearly every team that has won the Stanley Cup in recent memory has done at some point before they ended up winning the Cup. Nathan MacKinnon. How do you think he became a member of the Colorado Avalanche? Because they were good? Stamkos, Hedman, they joined the Lightning because they were really good? The Panthers are full of lottery guys. Barkov, second overall, right? They did some smart things along the way, of course. All these teams were really crap at some point, and they picked guys in the top 1 or 2 or 5. And they were principal cornerstone pieces of the team. Vegas is weird. That's an expansion team. It's weird. Tanking is trying to win. But whether your team tank or team just win games, smart business is smart business. It's time to trade guys. So, what did you think of this one? Let me know in the comments down below. But for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. The Leafs have 2 more games left on this road trip. Then it's the Olympic break. Then they actually begin their games after the Olympic break on the road as well. How many guys on the team that you saw tonight are never going to wear the blue and white again? It's a big question.